My next guest on the one-on-one series is someone you business owners are going to love because she's going to save you heartache and stress. Julie Davies from Agent Dynamics specialises in crisis and strategic management of staff. You'll want to hear this. So Julie, I want to get straight into it today. You've been in this industry for 15 years, am I right?
In the real estate industry for about 3 decades, but my current company, Agent Dynamics, 15 years. I guess my area of speciality is teams and working strategically with business owners around how do you build a high-performing team.
Could you just elaborate a little bit? What is a typical crisis that you come across in a real estate business?
Yeah, great question. It's normally when I'm getting the phone call when they tend to have a mass exodus of people over a period of time exiting the business.
Yep.
Often that can be because of one person, right? They might have one particular person within that organisation that is maybe controlling over the staff,
I see, like a manager position?
It could be, I know, I'm thinking typically of a situation I just had last week where there was one person in property management business who was not delegating, right, not letting people do their job.
Yes.
But controlling.
Micromanaging them?
Yeah, micromanaging, controlling them.
Yeah.
And the stress levels that were within that organisation were causing people to leave, and there was a constant turnover of staff.
Yeah, I can see
probably
how that
not
would...
a good example.
No, I understand that. That would be a good example, but here's a hard one for you. So let's say it's the principal that's the problem, and he's paying you. Someone out there thinking, well, I get Julie in, or she might tell me something I don't want to hear. How do you manage that with sensitivity where the principal is just not getting it right?
Okay, really good question and very common.
Okay.
All right. So, as I briefly spoke about our platform earlier, when we go in and work with teams, we profile everyone, including the business owner.
Right.
Now, the interesting thing is that with every profile, we find there's a above the line behaviour and below the line behaviour. Okay, when we understand there's certain predictability in that behaviour, and we're doing that within a team session.
Do you mean like overt and covert behaviour? Do you?
Yes.
Is that what you mean? Okay,
yeah.
go on. Yep.
So when we're working within a team, it becomes a framework where we can talk about behaviour and extract that from the person. And so we then can have a frank conversation, because I do a post-team session with the business owner where we talk about everybody in the team, including what's happening within management as well.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Because I have a term called the gorilla, and all agents like to have the very heavy hitting big income producing agent in their business.
Yes.
And they tend to be nicknamed the gorilla. But the gorilla can make, a lot of money, but also cause a hell of a lot of disruption.
Absolutely.
So is that a good thing to have someone that's high performing that the others in the agency can learn from or be, or not? Yeah.
Okay, all right. So here's what, and this is my opinion in terms of one of the most critical things that we look at, a framework of recruiting, is 3 key things. First thing is the character and values of that company. What are the lived values within that company, and how do we attract like-minded people?
Does that come from the management?
Absolutely.
Okay, go on.
So it comes from leadership. So when we're recruiting, we need to recruit on values and character.
Right.
And this is in reference to having that gorilla in the office, is that we're not particularly swayed by that, but more so in terms of what's the value of that person in terms of GCI.
Are you suggesting that no matter what their GCI is, the principal may have to let them go?
Yeah. Yes.
Now it's getting interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
because all that money's about to walk out the door.
that's exactly right. And this is where we see double standards.
Yes.
Right, where there's one rule for one person and another for another, which it causes a lot of injustice. And one of the top 3 reasons that
Yes.
people will leave, and probably the biggest driver, is environment, because environment always wins.
So we talked earlier, and we talked about the 2 key things you do as crisis and sustainability of the staff situation. So with the gorilla in the corner that's pushing everyone else out of the way, that's not going to create, in your mind, a sustainable business. So,
No.
so you go in there, and your modus operandi is to help the principal create a sustainable business where people are enjoying that, and it's ongoing, and he won't
Yeah.
avoid the crisis.
Well,
Yeah?
if you're working on a level of standards that's acceptable for everyone,
Yes.
right, that everybody's got to adhere to,
Yes.
right, you don't then make exceptions and different rules for different people within an
Right.
organisation.
Right. Which principals would do for someone that's a heavy hitter, as we say.
Yeah, so you're better off to have like 3 or 4 mid-range agents
Right.
within your organisation, because you allow a lot of vulnerability when you have got so much attached to just one person. And if that one person leaves your
Yeah.
organisation,
Yeah.
it's and also can be detracting in terms of attracting other good people, because if that person's got very strong market share or very big personality, right?
Well, they often do, don't they?
They often do.
Yeah.
It's not really a level playing field. This
Yes.
is really key, because I think that a lot of we take it for granted that we're going to lose team,
Yeah, that's probably true.
right? So when we go, well, it's not a matter if you're leaving, it's when you're leaving, right? So we've got the highest turnover in real estate, second only to hospitality.
Wow, I was not aware of that.
So when we talk about the real cost, I think that we don't give enough to consideration.
We being business owners.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Enough consideration to what is, in real terms of real dollars,
Yeah.
it's about 1.5 times an annual salary. So if you've got someone on a $60,000 salary, it's somewhere between $30,000 to $45,000
To replace them.
in actual cost.
Not just the recruitment cost, other costs as well.
That's
the whole
not
cost.
And so we look at training, time.
Yes.
But we've also got to look in terms of when we've got a high turnover in the team, what's the morale of the team, right? What
Sure.
does that look like?
Yeah. What's going on here? Yeah.
And we want to have stability
Yep.
within that team. Now, if you do that 10 times,
Yeah.
right, there's nearly $500,000 profit that's actually walking out the door.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly.
And I just don't think that we look at it in terms of that profit that is leaving our business. We
Yeah.
think of it incrementally. There goes another person. Team fatality happening everywhere. There goes another person. We'll just replace them. Let's put an ad on Facebook. Or do you know anyone? You seem like a really nice person. Let's give it a crack. And then 3 months later...
I've done that.
Yeah.
Plenty of times.
Yeah, and 3 months later, they either self-select out of the team or you have to let them go.
So business owners have got to be a lot more strategic in the way they approach employment and the teams that they create if they want sustainability in their business. And I can certainly understand how you've forged a career out of this, Julie, in helping businesses, because I'd have to suggest to you that 80 or 90% of businesses would not know a lot of this. Is that a fair comment?
It is, sadly.
So it is sadly, exactly, because everyone loses if you don't get it right. The business loses, the person they've employed loses, etc.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
I think what you do is wonderful, and I applaud you. And if anyone is out there at the moment and they feel that they need a hand in this area of their business, how do they contact you?
They can reach out to me, juliedavis.com.au.
Yeah.
Google Agent Dynamics.
That's the name of your business?
Correct.
Yeah.
Or you can find me on LinkedIn or the socials as well.
Thank you so much for coming in today and sharing with everyone your experience. And I've known you for how long? I don't know.
Nearly a decade now.
Oh my God. So I think Julie's fantastic. She's very skilled at what she does. And if she can help you, give her a call. She's a delightful person as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julie. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.